A clean slate. The Agile Era is no longer a concept, it's reality. 3 pillars defined this week in the Bahrain desert: lighter cars, shape-shifting wings, and a power unit war already tearing the paddock apart. This is your full technical recap of the week that changed everything. Let's start with what these new cars showed us on track. Look at these numbers. 798 kilograms in 2025, down to just 768. That 30-kilogram cut has transformed how these cars drive. Pilots say it feels like a completely different machine. Now watch this side by side. On the left, the 2025 car, bouncing over 22 millimeters. That's the porpoising that plagued the ground effect era. On the right, the 2026 car, barely moving, rock solid. The flatter floor and higher rake have killed the problem. And here is the real showpiece: active aero in action. Watch the wings in Z mode, flaps open wide for maximum downforce through the corners. Then they snap flat into X mode, minimum drag, maximum speed. That switch alone adds 20 to 25 km per hour on the straights. But under the bodywork, things are far less impressive. Here's the problem. The power is now split 50 to 50, half combustion, half electric. Watch this power curve. At full output you get 1,000 horsepower. But follow that dot: the moment the battery depletes, you hit the clipping point. Nearly 500 horsepower drops off a cliff, and you are stuck in the derating zone with barely half your power left. Max Verstappen has been the loudest critic. He calls the driving experience unnatural, more time watching energy bars on the steering wheel than actually hitting apexes. His word for it: anti-racing. And the problems don't stop at the straights. Now look at this turbo cross-section. Without the MGU-H to spin those compressor blades electrically, the turbo relies on exhaust pressure alone. Watch the RPM climbing, red when cold, through amber as it spools, to green when finally ready. That takes 10 to 15 seconds of holding high revs on the grid before the lights even go out. If a car stalls, it is a sitting duck on the racing line. Audi and Alpine have already fumbled practice starts, and with Melbourne just weeks away, this is a serious safety concern. Behind the scenes, a very different kind of war is being fought in the factories. Look at this GPS speed trace. The blue line is the Red Bull RB22, and nearly 1 full second faster on the straights. They have found a way to harvest energy while still on full throttle, and nobody else can replicate it. Now look at these compression ratio bars on the right. The FIA limit is 16 to 1. Mercedes passes the cold test at 15.8. But when the engine reaches operating temperature, rivals allege it climbs to 17.2 to 1, well above the legal limit. A metallurgical trick that has the entire paddock furious. So what is the final verdict? On the left in green, the benefits: lighter and more agile cars, easier following through high-speed corners, and the porpoising nightmare is officially over. On the right in red, the downsides: battery clipping, lift and coast racing that feels robotic, and a massive power gap between manufacturers. And the technical crown? It belongs to Red Bull Ford. The rest of the grid is scrambling for a reset button. Subscribe for daily testing coverage and drop your verdict in the comments.